today is writing day and today we are going to be writing an imaginative story. I have put what you need to do to be successful on this sheet. So remember, as always when we're writing, we need good sentences, starting with a capital letter, ending with our full stop, and use a connective. Okay, expand your sentence by using a connective: and, but, so, because, any of those. The new bit today, and this is in the second challenge, this is a bit of a challenge. Our new thing to be successful is that we need to write in parts. So we need our story to have a beginning, a middle and an end. So that's like the story sandwich. You start by introducing your problem, and then the middle bit of your sandwich, like your cheese or your ham, is where you show the reader what you're trying to do to fix that problem. And then you need an ending bit, and quite often that is when you fix the problem. Okay, so that's like the bottom bit of the sandwich. And then if you're really wanting to challenge yourself, you are going to do these. This is also quite new. This is expand your ideas. Don't just tell me that your superhero in this case is going to shrink the baddie down to size. Describe how you're feeling when you're about to do that. Are you excited? Do you feel powerful? Or are you a bit scared? And describe what the baddie looks like when he's shrinking all the way down. Do his clothes start to fall off him? Are they left on the street? So don't just say the actual thing that's happening in one sentence. Use a lot more sentences to explain exactly what's happening round about. So you can use your adjectives, the describing words, like this. Instead of just saying the robber, you would say the mean robber. Or you might say flying through the sky as flying through the dark night sky. I have written some stories about being a superhero, but I know that you've got loads of ideas of your own. I know that Ava would like to have super speed power, and Harry would like to be creating tornadoes. The other Harry would like to have the power of lava to melt things, and Noah would like super goggle power so he could see through walls. Darcy and Andrew are like me. They would like to have the superpower of flying, and I love Millie's idea of having invisibility so that she can eat all the cakes and no one would know. I know today that we've already got 2 super stories on the blog to do with Daisy rescuing cats, and also a superhero with jet rockets that helps put prisoners back in prison. Superb job. Here are my stories. The first one's quite long. I'm not expecting you to write anything as long as this, but it might give you an idea of how you could start to expand bits of your story. I gasped in horror as I watched the flames tear through the forest. The fire was raging below me, turning the sky a bright orange as I flew towards the danger. Landing in a hilltop above the trees, I looked desperately for something to use to help me to put out the fire. I spotted a small loch nearby and flew down to the water's edge. Using my super strength, I filled a small rowing boat with some water and then flew back into the sky. I hovered in the air over the leaping flames and then emptied the water down into the fire. The menacing flames seemed to go out for a moment, but then the wind blew and even more flames sprung up. They seemed to be laughing at me. By now my heart was racing as I began to worry that even with me, with my amazing superpowers, I'd not be able to put a stop to this danger. Frantically, I forced myself to think of another way. If only I could blow it out. I began to zoom around in circles in the sky, hoping that the wind I created would blow it out completely. But it did not. Again, the fire danced up through the treetops, showing me it was in control. Just then, I heard fire engine sirens in the distance. I looked over to see 10 engines and loads of fire officers running around shaking their heads. They couldn't find a way to get enough water into their hoses. Excited, I realised that I could use my superpowers to help. The officers couldn't go through the forest on foot to reach the loch, but I could fly over the top. I swooped down, grabbed the hoses, and then flew as fast as I could over the burning trees and down to the loch. Within minutes, I could hear the fire officers cheering as the loch water began to pump through the hoses and eventually put out the terrible fire. The forest had been saved because of my powers of flight and strength, and I felt proud to have saved the day. Now that was quite a long story, but it had a beginning where I told you about my problem, and then a middle where I tried to solve it but didn't manage, and then an end where I managed to do the right thing. Now here is a shorter version, and this is more like what I'd like a lot of you to be producing. It's the same story, but just shorter. I am super strong and I can fly. One dark night I spotted a forest fire burning. First, I tried to put it out by filling a boat with water and tipping it into the flames, but it was no use. Next, I tried to blow it out by flying super fast round in circles above the fire, but it only made it worse. Finally, I flew over the trees to the loch so that the fire officers' hoses could get water, and it worked. The fire was put out and I was a hero. Now you could write something like that. Beginning, middle, end. Some of us are still working really hard at writing our sentences, and that's okay. So, for some of you, maybe you'll just choose to write one sentence, but your sentence has still got to tell me about your superhero power, and it's also got to tell me what you did to save the day. I would like you to put a connective in it as well. Here is my super sentence. My superpower is that I can fly, and it helps me rescue people from fires. And I've still got a good picture in my head there. I cannot wait to read your stories, boys and girls. Pop them in assignments when you're done. Bye! I'm going to fly!